You're watching the Brotherhood of Gaming, and here's my 2 cents. Alright people, so I just finished playing the new downloadable game. Every time I think about it, I always want to say Epic Mickey, and it's not. It's Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion, the remake, which a lot of people may not be familiar with, or a lot of people may also be familiar with, is a remake of the original Sega Genesis title. Now, I never was able to play the Sega Genesis title. Why, I don't know. I have a lot of Disney-related games for that generation, but for some reason, Castle of Illusion eluded me somehow. I knew it existed. I have a T-shirt of it. Don't ask me how. But yeah, I had to get my hands on the remake for it, and just to see how well it plays out. Because let's face it, the last Mickey Mouse game wasn't exactly the best one, and. It kind of makes you wonder, can Mickey Mouse really step his game up and be recognized in the same light as Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog? Technically, he already has, kinda. Simply the name alone. We're talking about a character who has really stood the test of time, going all the way back to the early 1900s. So, asking if he can measure up, well, yeah, I mean, there's probably not a single person in the world who doesn't know the name Mickey Mouse. Alright, but enough about that. So how's the game? Alright, so obviously I can't really compare it to the original by any means, so I'm going to be basically judging it on its own merits. And I'll show you a little bit of gameplay footage, but I'm not going to show you too much, because let's just face it, theatricality really only does so much, and what you really want to hear is just the words of the critic and the review itself. So I'm not going to spoil too much in general, and especially for this game I'll explain why. Now, Castle of Illusion, the HD remake, a lot of its hype and a lot of what makes the game great is the level design and the visuals themselves. They're very interesting, and Disney always does this really great. They can always make an image look so fascinating. Like, slight spoiler, like, there's this level that has just, that shrinks you down to the size of a bookworm. And you have all of these books just around the area, and all of these things are so bigger than you. And everything about these levels are so fascinating to look at, and they're half the fun, because you never know what you're going to see next. And that's always fun to look forward to when it comes to games like these, because it's just almost like sort of a breathtaking experience, where it's almost kind of half the journey itself, just looking at these amazing creations. Like, wow, that is so cool. Like, oh wow, that's interesting. It's almost like a trip to Disneyland, where every time you go to Disneyland or Disney and they have like a new attraction, you're always just stunned at like, wow, that is so cool, that is new, I like that. And safe to say they have that same sort of material here, and that's fun. The gameplay is very simplistic, as I imagine it should be, since it's a remake. There's only one functioning button, which is the jump button, which is either X or A, depending on what console you play it on, or whatever. And, of course, you have the directional pad. Pretty much that serves for everything. The difficulty is moderate. It's not too difficult, but at the same time, it is. Because you'll be breezing through the game, having a good time, and then once you get to the end of the game, or the last few levels, there is such a huge difficulty spike that I was getting kind of furious. Like, this game was starting to piss me off a little. Like, I was really stunned at how really difficult the game got. Like, suddenly enemies were throwing stuff at me from left and right. I didn't see them coming. Platforms wouldn't be there. Just a whole bunch of environmental hazards would get in the way. And you never have enough lives, and your health is never regenerated to the max, and the difficulty just got really hard, and you really had to pay attention. And I guess it's cool, but at the same time, it's not, because challenge in video games should come in doses. Like, a game should gradually get harder as you play it. But with this game, the whole game was moderately simple and fun to play. It was enjoyable. Like, it wasn't too difficult. It's a simple side-scrolling 3D run-around platformer. It's kind of like, it sort of reminds me of the Rayman games, or another typical platformer in that sort of route, where it's somewhat side-scrolling, and then it'll take these turns and go into a 3D environment where you can run around technically anywhere. So that's kind of cool, because that allows the levels to intrigue you more by showing you things that you probably wouldn't have seen. And it kind of makes me wonder, seeing the game in this light, it makes me interested in seeing the original Sega Genesis version, because I know, powerful as the Genesis was, there's no way that they could have did half the stuff here. So I want to see how the original portrayals were. So, yeah, obviously you're going to get a lot more in-depth feeling with this remake. Would I say it's worth buying? If you're a Disney junkie, yeah. If you're looking for an okay, simplistic 2D platformer that sometimes takes its little turns, and it's interesting to look at, yeah. But at the same time, if you're not, then probably not, because A, the game is not that long. The replay value isn't really that high. There are unlockables and time attacks, but I've unlocked a couple of the things, and it's really not worth it. Like, there are, spoilers, there are costumes you can unlock for Mickey, but as far as I've noticed, I only got one of them, and it didn't do anything. It just changed the look, which is kind of disappointing. So I don't know if the other costumes actually have abilities. If they do, cool. But there's not a whole bunch of replay value upon completion, unless you really are a completionist and you gotta have everything. So yeah, I guess there is that other stuff, which is cool. The side quests are interesting. Like, it's kind of hard to come by them. Like, whenever I found them, I guess I kind of ran into them by accident, where you can go into these small areas of the game, and it kind of changes on you, and you just got to follow the game's rules by doing a platformer, or swimming in water, or things of that nature to collect certain objects, whether it be cards and things of that nature, just for bonus material, like concept art. So all of that's there, and all that's cool if you're into that sort of thing. But if you just wanted to, to be fair, it's actually pretty good. Like, considering all things considered, with Epic Mickey 2, huge step up. This is what they should have did from the start. Epic Mickey 2, whoa, huge flop. This is where they should have gone. They should have abandoned Wasteland, get out of there, do something completely different. If they do more of this, but they make it really long, and they basically up the tension, up the level designs, get very creative, because if you play this, you'll definitely see loads of creativity with how these guys do their level design. They knew what they were doing. These guys actually know how to make a good Mickey Mouse game or a Disney game. So if those guys buckled down and wanted to go above and beyond, they could do this, but up it. Like, just do this, but even more of that. And yeah, we'd have a really successful, top-notch Mickey game that'd probably be very memorable. As it stands, it's pretty good, but like I said, it's pretty short. All the stuff is really cool to look at. So if you're a Disney junkie, then yeah, definitely. If you're interested in seeing innovative level design and some pretty interesting levels to look at, sure, you might want to try it out if the price is right. Otherwise, if you're an FPS gamer, or if you're interested in hardcore gaming action, probably not the best route. Not to down Disney or anything. I mean, like I said earlier, the game does get radically harder as you get near the end. Really difficult. The final boss, I swear to God, I died to the final boss about 12 times. So even though it's Mickey Mouse and it's Disney, it's not all of a cakewalk, but it is a fun adventure. I enjoyed it. I'll probably play it again. I beat it once. Yeah, I probably will play it a couple times through again, because it was that interesting. I'm a Disney fan, sure, but it's a good game in general. So if you want to pick up something fun, I say go for it. Meanwhile, you've been watching the Brotherhood of Gaming. This is my 2 cents and review of Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion HD remake for a multitude of consoles. Subscribe, comment, let us know what you want us to play next and review next, if you want our opinions or 2 cents on it, and we'll get back to you soon. Meanwhile, I'm going to play some more Castle of Illusion.